You may see me.
Welcome to Wicked Politics. We've been down and out for a while. Last time we talked, Bob was is in the process of recovering from testicular cancer. But before I say anything, if you like what you hear today or see, please listen to this podcast on Breezing with Beerman, the podcast. It's on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. What about you, Bob? What do they listen to?
Absolutely. Those are the websites. You can go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/Bob Carson MMA. Instagram also, if you want to friend me or follow me on there. All the relevant places, man, and Twitter as well. Same handle.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is informal, if we know, and we catch as couch can. But
Yes.
a lot gone on. I want to catch up to you with what's going on with your diagnosis and your treatment for your testicular cancer. And we actually got a comment. I think I forwarded it to you this morning by someone, a YouTube comment.
Oh,
So
I
check
got
it.
to see that. No, I'd like to check that out. Thank you to whoever commented. But still the same. I had to go to the hospital the other day. Not related to anything to testicular cancer. I had an ultrasound done on my liver because I had upper right pain, and that wasn't due to anything. It was due to my eating, my excessive eating of ice cream and dairy products and so on and so forth. The ultrasound looked good. Blood work looked good. I have to go visit with my oncologist next month. And right now, it's still the same. Still the same status. Nothing has came back. Nothing has returned. By God's grace, I've been cured, and I'm fully back to where I was before. Strength-wise, recovery is no pain whatsoever from the surgery, so I'm good as new.
Let's concentrate, Bob. You have your demons, though. What is this food binging based on?
Well, you know what? I used to be 350 pounds, and I lost a whole bunch of weight, obviously. And ever since that time, I've been dieting, and I've been really in sometimes a binge. I developed binge eating, which is mainly common amongst women, but for men that diet and lost a lot of weight can get kind of sucked into that. And sometimes I could really be triggered to consume a lot of sugar, a lot of other unhealthy foods. And what happened this time is my liver really kind of
Rejected.
became inflamed. Yeah, because obviously the liver absorbs everything. And the message that I received from this hospitalization is that I can't do this anymore. My body's reacting to it. Obviously, the bowel gas that I had was just tremendous. I'm thankfully getting over it now. But you can't have too much sugar in this day and age, or in any day and age, and expect your body to not go into catastrophe mode. So
But for someone who sleeps
that's
in
all
his
about.
car, just to drop, you could turn it into a gas chamber. But what's the reason behind binge eating? Is it frustration? You need pleasure. Your body's craving sugar too, also because you exercise so much. Is it a combination of stuff? It sounds crazy, man. You could finish off.
I'm sorry, you cut out there for the last
Okay.
couple
What's
10 seconds.
behind this binge eating? Is a combination of wanting instant pleasure, sugar cravings from exercising, you don't want to deny yourself. I mean, what do shrinks say basically? What are you trying to satiate by consuming
Yeah,
five
no,
ice cream?
that's very interesting. It's very. There's a lot of triggers to it. It's very complicated. One of it is hunger. The next is pleasure. The next is being disappointed with something in my life. So it's kind of all the above, and unfortunately, it's very difficult to treat. I mean, it's something that the only thing that I know that works is personal discipline and habits, establishing positive habits. That's what works. There is something called, I learned about this, nutritional psychiatrist. There's a whole field, nutritional psychiatry, and if I spoke to somebody, they probably would recommend some things that I've already heard of, as far as additional counseling and whatnot. And so, I am open to that. But as we've discussed before, it's very difficult in America to get help for certain ailments and for certain
Fine. I just went out for a second. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I know there's Golo or something. The commercial. It's like you get it on your phone, and it basically you take a test why you eat. You find out what causes your eating habits, and at the same time, it's almost like a personal coach without a person though. But it will it's like a timer. It'll give you warnings when to stop eating, how many calories to eat. It gives you a self-help
Yeah.
listen to stuff like that. I guess they say that works a whole lot because a lot of it's emotional. And I know one thing they say trying to starve yourself doesn't work because it's too much deprivation. So Golo is like less calories, more walking. Understand what you're doing. Stop yourself because you don't want to go to the
Yeah.
hospital. And are
Yeah.
you driving
Exactly.
away from me?
Exactly.
You're driving away from me. The second thing I have to say is uh, you can talk. I don't want you to crash. You
No,
can
I'm
talk.
good. I'm good. Yeah,
Okay.
I can hear you. Yeah.
The second thing is I've not watched the new. We are going to do Wicked Politics. We're going to talk about I think local politics today.
Yes.
I'm waiting for the local school board. That's another story we'll get to. But I'm kind of happy. I do watch CNN. Basically, that's my usual news source. Even though we've discussed the biases, and this Fox News, which I think is nutty after 7 p.m. It's a circus. I've been not watching anything, and I just feel better. Not better, but I just don't. No, I just enjoy having a change in my regime. I watch news almost every day of my life, and now I haven't done it for a while, and I keep a little abreast. But what is quickly happening with Trump? What's big in the news right now? You tell me, and then we'll get to my
Well,
local talk.
you and I are sort of on the same wave here. My news consumption has gone down much to my delight. However, things are heating up with.
Hello.
The House Republicans are investigating Hunter Biden, investigating Joe Biden. There's no federal investigation.
You're going in and out. Well, I don't know if we're going to use this tape.
In trouble.
Oh,
Is
Bob,
going to be
you're going
indicted
in.
further beyond
You're
the
going
stuff
in
he's
and
already
out.
been indicted for.
You're going in and out. You're just
I can hear you. Okay.
yeah, it's not working right now.
Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Now, yes, it's not working though.
Hello?
You stop. It's not working.
Hold on. Let me see if I could join. Let me see if I could join via audio.
Okay. We learn as we go here on Wicked Politics. Bob, we do the show when we can. We both have busy schedules.
Hold on.
I work, and now I'm entering a local political race, which is somewhat time consuming. Some people say I'm crazy because it's the school board. And as you know, the famous saying is people are not rational sometimes, which I understand when it comes to their kids and schools. And we're going through some of the social, cultural revolutions that other schools are going. And things about detracking math and getting new principal comes in, gets rid of the beloved principal, and where's this money going to? Referendums on buildings. I'm not exactly sure what's getting done on time and not getting done on time. So can you hear me, Bob?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Yep.
Okay. I was just giving narration while you're trying to figure things out. So anyway, we're talking about Hunter Biden, and that's happening. I mean, I don't know what to believe. I don't follow it. You know, is there anything there to there? Because unfortunately, Fox News might be correct, but they lie so much and they're so propaganda insane. I don't know what to believe unless I really investigate.
Yeah, I think this is definitely worthy of investigation. There's evidence. There's laptop evidence. There's evidence of him meeting with Burisma officials and and Joe Biden being there. There's also evidence. Joe Biden said that he's never discussed his business with his son, and that now is not the case. So look, there's a lot of smoke here. I don't think this is a partisan witch hunt. I think there's a lot to be
Oh,
explored. But it took Whitewater. It took 2 years for the Justice Department to investigate Richard Nixon and find out that Richard Nixon was a crook and whatnot. So
that's the, yeah, I mean, I could, but I just don't. Proper, Fox News is such crap, and it's just, and it makes sense what they're doing.
yeah.
Something happens with Trump, then it's we'll go to Hunter Biden. Trump makes another gaffe, then we'll discuss Hillary again. With the emails back in Benghazi. So it's just I don't know. It could be true, yeah. But that's the thing. When you lie all the time, when you're full of it, yeah. But I am running. You were asking me. I'm running again, and I wasn't my first choice for local office board of education, and it seems
my car.
Okay.
And my keys were in my bag, and when I left her car, she took it, and now she's stranded because
Okay.
I think we have some
Where
issues.
is she?
Do you know where that is?
Yeah, Shrewsbury. Yeah, let me
Yeah.
hold on. Let me just plug it up here. Let me just fire up the app here. I've arrived. Blah blah blah.
She's stranded alone.
Yeah. All right. Let me see here. All right. Start delivery, and this will go right. Make sure. All right. It's telling me enter a pin. No pin. All right. Okay. Good. Okay. All right. You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the keys.
Okay.
And she'll meet you outside.
Sorry. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Very
Anna,
well.
I'm sorry. You there?
Yeah, I'm there. I like it. It's live. It's not going
I
to be
can hear you. Yeah.
home videos. No one's like crashing into the side of the house where they're on like a mini bike or something. Being even.
See, you got to carry me here. I can hear you fine, but yeah, I'm working simultaneously. I'm right on the Atlantic Ocean. Some lady lost her keys, and I got to
know.
put her keys.
I heard. So anyway,
Yeah,
we'll see.
you did?
Yeah, but I'll keep going. Should I keep going though?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm ready to go, man. I'm
Okay.
good. I'm sorry.
Well, if not, I just narrate. Anyway, I'm entering. I know I ran before in local politics, somewhat as the outsider, and there's as I said before, there's a pretty organized small group of people, and they get their vote out, and they usually win. And I got sucked in, and so I wasn't going to run again. I like politics. I like running. I like issues. I like learning about things. Last time I ran for the school board, I learned about budgets and construction. I kind of found it interesting. I find mentors. I call it harvest the intelligentsia. So anyway, long story short, we have a new superintendent, and she's doing some things, in my opinion, a lack of transparency, a lack of good governance and stuff. She's wasting a lot of money on expensive consultants that kind of rubber stamp. Educational concepts that really don't have a lot definitive fact to them, like detracting math, and it's kind of this equity tsunami going around, and we have to get rid of accelerated classes so everyone will learn at the same time. Blah 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 blah. The second thing she did was she paid this consultant who's anti tracking of math, and again, we anti-track. It's getting rid of accelerated courses for some students. Everyone has to take algebra at a certain time, and they might not be able to get calculus if they do this by their senior year in college, which a lot of people need if they want to go to some colleges or tech schools. Anyway, they paid this Dr. Malou from Rowan College a lot of money, and then when the parents who wanted to go to this, when he came to speak, they wanted to go, but then somehow I think it was more of a secret meeting or something. And then when the parents said, okay, we want the report of this meeting, they got a redacted report. And then she got rid of a principal with predictably a big outrage because she tried to get rid of this high school principal who was crazily popular actually the year before, and everyone backed down because there was such an outrage. That was her first year there. And that causes more distraction, more loss of morale, more money because you have an intern principal. So the whole thing's a mess. I got not really recruited. I was just part of this group. They want to run 3 people to run against the incumbents. There were 3 incumbents. One is not running now. And I said, well, if you don't find anyone else, ask me then. And they had 3 for a long time, but out of the 3, let's say the third wheel kept on dropping out. One man was going to do it, then a woman was going to do it, then a man was going to do it. And I was like, find someone who actually has kids in the school who's or man or woman who's really on a lot of committees in the school too, so they know a lot of people who actually are engaged in this. Because again, usually 15-20% of the people might vote, and most people don't even vote for the local school board, even when it's on the ballot and they vote for something else. So I've been through this. I said, look, I'll do this, but you have to help me. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've been working on one reason I've been busy. I've been trying to, even though people say they're going to help me, it's August and their urgency is not my urgency. So I've been working on, getting contacts, having people maybe set up meetings or neighborhood get-togethers, working on the issues like the tracking and the timeline of some of the things this administration's done that's very sketchy in terms of being opaque and not being forthcoming with
Yeah.
information. Also procedural misconduct when they got rid of this principal. He was in tenure, but in my opinion, she wanted him gone. That's her MO. And she basically weaponized everything she could against him and slanted things, which people can do in a lot of jobs. And again, with predictable results, because this guy, they raised a group of parents, kids, they raised $25,000 for his defense fund. And now there's going to probably be a lawsuit. It's a mess. It's a mess. And one thing I don't understand is, in my opinion, this is all my opinion. If you do just a basic Google search about her, and I did talk to one or two people, actually two people at her old job in Illinois, that's her MO. She comes in, makes radical changes with personnel, especially with a popular principal. She has this agenda, which again, if you believe in detracking, I don't. It's a theory, it's not a fact. I think it takes away from people's opportunities, because you learn at different rates in different ways. And you want to hear my remedy to that. It's not a remedy, but the way you deal with like a math class. Yeah, you get involved. And it's all about, they keep on talking about equity, but they never really define it to me and how they're supposed to reach it and all that crap. It's crazy. Did I make sense?
Now, are you running? Yeah, absolutely. Are you? Do you
I'm
have to
running.
register?
I did it all. I did it all. And
okay.
I mean, and of course, there's two things: there's running and there's governing. And I hope if I did get elected, I hope to, basically, I think I'd be why I'm running too. And I think that there's two other people running. I think hopefully they're who are not, the incumbents. I think would be one, an independent voice who would ask tough and right questions and continue to do it. And at the same time, scrutinize. And I don't know how much the board scrutinize spending requests and scrutinize, of course, these issues. Because you could have predicted this was going to happen. It's just not, even if you believe in stuff she's doing, it's not worth the chaos. She's politically toned it, and it's just causing havoc. And they're doubling down, and it might get really. Now there's a division, and she happens to be Black and a woman, and now people are doubling down. They're playing. Some people playing the race card. It's to me, it's pretty low ball politics. Instead of debating the issue, saying, well, there has to be kind of racism out there because she's Black and a woman. I'm kind of tired of that too. Look, unless you tell me something systemic and something true, anyone can say anything. And I happen to work with people who got fed up with her because about them, a lot of them are South Asian, a lot of them are just regular, some are immigrants, and South Asians especially very academically oriented, the sciences. They rescued, thank God for immigration though. I remember reading a report like in 2000 or something, if I'm right, New Jersey was going to be lacking people in the hard sciences, doctors, IT, entrepreneurs, and everything. And this Asian influx, helps that a whole lot. We've got, mostly South Asian, at least in New Jersey. Anyway, again, when they're, I can understand when you get lied to, told things that aren't true about meetings, math committees that are formed. No, we didn't make a math committee, redacting reports. I mean, what are you supposed to think? And I think the final straw for some people was the way that she dismisses principal. And basically with a terse mid-March, and I know the real story behind it, but a mid-March dismissal with just an area paragraph saying we're making a change. It was just so tone deaf. I mean, a smart person would have basically, made it as seamless as possible. Look, I don't want you here. We're not a good fit, whatever. He wasn't tenured yet, but I'm going to, help you as much as I can to get the best job, best recommendation, resign quietly in the summer, even though you probably resigned earlier. None of that happened. A lot of this was avoidable. So procedural incompetence, leadership, a math curriculum that's whacked out when it comes to, I mean, just saying that, not acknowledging reality and people run at different rates in different times. This because there's a disparity, which is the variable reasons for disparity in math scores and English scores. Doesn't mean it's one thing, systemic racism. Hello? And what I understand too, I mean, I was in the Princeton schools. My mom taught, I teach now, and it would, different thing, but I have some insight to this. And generally speaking, the best indication, I think, is 5 or 6 metrics for school success, especially in the core subjects that you want to get up to grade level by 5th or 6th grade, like math or reading. It's student aptitude and motivation, parental advocacy, targeted instruction with a good teacher and an aide who work together, so you can separate the class by ability level when you're in a class. Even if you're in a big class, you can separate it in the class. Finding work that's not too easy or not too hard, but that sweet spot, so students can gain motivation, little victories, and also year-round instruction. But you don't hear that a lot. Except I just keep on hearing a lot of rhetoric. So, any comment on that? Can you hear me? Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Did you hear me with my preamble?
Yeah, for some reason, I think it's my phone of Romeo's. Now, when is the election being held?
Second week, in November, Tuesday. So my job now is to really, I think my audience, for lack of a better word, it's not like I have this polling and everything. I hope to get a database called NGP Van on my phone that tells you, like, real time when people vote, when they didn't vote, how many times they voted in the past, age, party, so I can maybe make some crude targeting of voters. But November 2nd, but a lot of the mail-in ballots go out at the end of September, and traditionally it seems a lot of Democrats vote early. I don't have an exact number in Princeton, or independents even, who usually vote Democrat in Princeton. So a lot of votes might be going out, after September 25th. People get it, probably wait a week or two before they vote. I usually vote pretty quickly though. So, but I have to keep on acting like the election, I'm going to have to keep on working, but September is going to be a big month. And I just got to get in front of as many people as you can. It does take 3 to 6 times. I've heard this when I was in college. I heard this when I was in grad school. 3 to 6 times for a lot of people. They just don't pay attention. They don't listen. It's not, on their radar. And so especially with low information voters who maybe don't even vote unless they will vote because you got to them, educated them on what's going on, and they feel, something motivates them to vote. So we'll see what happens. But people are mad, so maybe, that's what they could have, again, they help position because they keep on stuff on.
Yeah. This must be like a full-time job for you.
No, it could take time.
This local level.
Yeah, but it depends how much you want to make. I've talked to people before because I was going to run before. I mean, I take it very seriously. I plan to read everything and be up to date. Usually everyone finds their own focus. When I ran the first time, I learned a lot about the budget, and I couldn't believe some of the missteps and some of the grandiose plans. They didn't make economic sense, and all the money they were asking for. I mean, I got this feeling they were acting like it was just monopoly money. Because that's another thing. We pay with it's half our property taxes go to schools.
Okay.
It goes up. And in some way, and it's another variable I throw in too. I mean, that's the reality, and Princeton's just going to get more expensive. But so it's hard enough anyway, but just to waste money, especially when some people in this town, are happy to know them, are living on the edge, and this can throw them, a couple $100 here and there. It maybe they have to move. And again, I understand you can't, economic housing prices bat last, and it's a capitalist system, but still, everyone should be in everything. What you do affects everybody, and you shouldn't waste money. And I saw, at least in 2020, and now I'm seeing some of it here now. I'm trying to find out about this building referendum. Our buildings, we're left in pretty bad shape for various reasons. It's another story. And there's a new building facilitator, and there's a new economics guy. They've been on the job 5 years. They inherited a mess, but I can't even find out. They want to have another referendum to pay for more building construction and tech needs, and they're still working on the previous 2 referendums. And when you can't find information that clearly, financial summaries, it tells you a lot. What's going on? Are they watching? And construction is difficult. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you have subcontractors and this and that, but someone has to be watching this store. You shouldn't have, if they have leakage over, 5%, I'm going to be upset if I find that out. And the people who are encased in power, I mean, I'm sure they're not monolithic in their thought, but they're rallying the troops, and it's kind of like their thing, which it kind of makes me ill. because, especially in the local politics, you shouldn't discourage people by being really cliquey and myopic and secular.
How are you trying to, or how are you going to attempt to get the word out about your candidacy?
It's very haphazard. One is I have run before, and some people know me. So I have again, but nothing right now. I think compared to maybe the incumbents. The incumbents have, I think, they still have it. People who like to do that, who are in that group, who like doing these things, who like being like the car, like doing the media, doing the tech, giving advice, or just doing the minutia. So what I'm doing is this, and this is where the minutia comes in. Some of the just a hands-on, like throw it at the wall, signs. Have people write letters to the local free newspaper for you. My email list, social media. And then you want to try to guess what's the best way, to use social media. Do people use text more? With the email? I just end up using everything. And then to actually win, though, I think my win tally would be about 5,000 votes if you base it on other elections. I need these group of people who are mad too to really, one, have me introduced to as many people as possible and spread the word. Because a lot of times, one good thing about the double-edged sword about local elections in small towns, we're still pretty small. If you can get to people and they don't have a fixed opinion, so they're i.e. persuadable, you might, and you can talk to them, they remember you and they're more likely to vote for you. And stuff. Yeah. I can't go door to door all the time because a lot of times people don't open the door. I tried that before, and it's not like it was in Princeton in the past. Times change. People don't really like it that much. They don't open the door. I've had numerous times where people, I can see that they could see me like through the window, and they don't. They just don't open the door. And stuff. So and also, if it's only me, it's not the best use of my time. But if other people are helping out, I'd probably do more door to door and targeted door to door based on data records and stuff, or what people tell me. But yeah, I think the only way I'm really going to win is do all that and then really get out and meet people. Again, persuadable people who have not made up their mind. I can't waste my time with people who already are, going to vote the way they're going to vote.
Yeah, well, you know what? All the time I've known you, there's a real active political climate there. Princeton, and I know that you have your ear to the ground. I know that you are very emotionally invested in these issues. You've lived there your whole life, so I could understand if anybody were to run. I think you'd be a really, really good candidate. You mentioned that there are three other candidates too, or two other candidates in addition to you that are running against this incumbent.
Yeah, one of the incumbents is not running. This is all speculation. Again, I think this is what I feel. And this is what I hear from the street. I'm not saying it's true or not, but I think they're scared of the when they had this big Donaldson meeting. That's where the principal who got rejected tenure and everything, very popular. It was a big scene. It was basically it's not like a legal proceeding that there's an official judge, but he got to present his case and what he said was wrong and the way he was dismissed, how they didn't follow procedural conduct, and which they have on record. Like you're supposed to be observed 3 times, it's supposed to be written up in a certain amount of days, it's supposed to be on these forums and everything. But it was a heated meeting. Finally, most people don't care about the school board. I mean, there's smaller people who actually would show up. But it was raucous. It was loud. The school board members, it was a little intimidating for them. So he got to present his side. She got to present her side. But then the only thing that could have changed it, the school board members could have voted to have him reinstated. They did have that power after saying they really didn't or something. It was kind of, they were playing some games, and they already had their pre-written responses, written, basically saying no. I don't think they were there to change their mind, but one person did. I think and she is the one who's not running. And I think even then she was like trying to square the circle and walk a tightrope. She's going, I don't know, maybe this principal still should be dismissed. I don't like the process. I think it's flawed. She's not running. So there's a lot of politics. I think there's intimidation. I think they're afraid if they did go against the superintendent, maybe they would sue. It would go out, they'd go play the race card. They would be in the newspapers again, like it's Princeton racist,
Now let me ask you: is there any type of debate that you guys will have?
Yeah, there are, but I don't even like them because they're hard. Because when you have a lot of people, I think a debate should be a debate on issues, and it should be heated but civilized. but it's more like
Right.
they'll ask you, what do you think about, giving money for special ed? Or what do you think about the what's going on with the referendum? And when I ran in 2020, I made some heated but true comments about some of the fraudulent thwarting of democracy. Two of the board members who are running again were doing. They tried to censor another board member because they didn't like what he was saying about the referendum, and they used his board lawyer to do it. They said they weren't thinking about buying a property called the Westminster Choir College, and then it turned out through an Oprah request through another board member they were. I mean, so I brought these things up, but my point is, then they go to the next question. They can refute it. So it's a lot of times the next question would come up, something innocuous, not important, but i.e., spending on special ed. What do you think? And I would ignore that and just go back to my original point and refute what they just said, basically calling them liars. It's hard to do that though, unfortunately, because they do all these questions. You have these, you have like 4 or 5, 6 people, and it's like 3 minutes to answer each question, and they keep on moving on. And you should have a heated debate, and people should be uncomfortable. And I mean, I always said, when some of these woke idiots go, "Oh, my feelings are hurt." How could you have a conversation in the first place about something important, like when you think someone is not being honest about the school, about the policy, and about money, and of course, not make them feel uncomfortable. That's called, you have to use your mind and argue back, or hopefully tell the truth. So
Yeah.
So that's hard. And last time it was Zoom meetings because it was COVID. So I was able to see who was watching, and most of the people there probably I knew were voting for the incumbents anyway. No one showed up that I saw that maybe, was curious, had an open mind. Now this could be different though this time. And this is some surprise.
Yeah.
This is some prizes. People do talk. Crane Britton, very famous, he wrote the book Anatomy of Revolution, and he says when the one way the ruling class loses its grip on power, when people inside the ruling class don't agree or whatever, their loyalty splits away, and then they start helping out, I guess, the group that's not in power. I wouldn't call us a group, whoever we are, but that's kind of happening. I'm getting some people are kind of disgusted. They don't want people to know that they're being told things. Which I kind of find, who care? I mean, I guess they don't want to, it was told them in confidence, or they're afraid they won't be invited to the next party or something. But there might be some surprises coming up.
Yeah, man. This is going to be a really, really good, source of discussion here for the show. And maybe we can bring people on that are related to your campaign or relevant. I mean, I'm really excited about this to kind of see your journey here.
We'll see. Hopefully it will be a bang and people will participate. What I'm upset about, and call me naive, and maybe my dad was actually on the school board, and I remember local politics as a kid. I mean, people had their vested interests, but it didn't seem like these entrenched. Like this now, this group is entrenched. Group that was somewhat myopic and very very insular, and not very run like a regular democratic machine out of Hudson County. And they'll tell people it's not your turn to run, it's not your turn to do this, and they just follow the herd, and they step on some democratic norms, and they happen to be Democrat. But I've learned though, especially locally, a lot of it's just fun. It's basically managing and accountability. Potholes don't care about your political affiliation.
Yeah.
So and some of the things these people who are Democrats, and I'm a proud Democrat, are doing are just wrong. So I got to call them out.
Yeah.
Ego.
Well,
Hello?
Yeah. Hello?
Yep. Go on. We got about 5 minutes.
What do you? Oh, good. Okay. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Take care. God bless. All right, good.
And I'll leave with this, and then we can wrap it up. Yeah, one thing that shocks me, and again, I've been told this too. My grandfather and my dad, wise people, but this is probably urban norms. They said not on nonprofits, you'll find some of the best people. I mean, just giving of their time, public servants who might not even want to do it, but they're doing something using their expertise to help out the community. And then on the other side, in nonprofits, you get the wacko power hungry, egomaniac, narcissistic types create havoc with their neurosis.
Right.
And I think in school board, and again,
Right.
I'm not trying to demonize these. I mean, they do good work on it. It's not like they don't do anything well. I'm sure they work. Well, maybe one doesn't work that much. But the stupid egos get involved. It's like this is their thing, and you think and they want to hold on to power. Maybe they feel they want to finish whatever job they're doing or something. But I think it's not the best reason to stay in my opinion. That's what I feel.
Well, let me ask you too. I mean, this is really because I could pick your brain for a while here. To what extent does the state politics impact the budgeting in Princeton? You mentioned half of the property tax goes to schools, and I would imagine Princeton has a nice impact, but I'm not as familiar with it as you are.
Well,
What does that bleed over into
a lot? Well, there's a lot. I mean, one thing is there is a lot. They always go back to this. We have state mandated spending, which you have to do on certain in your operating budget or your capital budget. Operating budget day to day. I think capital for big projects, and that's true. But it's still, and that's their standard line. But they still wasted a lot of money on. Oh God! On last time there was like the middle of COVID, we didn't know what was going to happen with the economy and the whole world, and they wanted to go ahead and they were able to build a $500,000 bathrooms near by the on the sports field. But my point was, look, it should have been done a long time ago. I know we have crappy facilities compared to other places, but who cares? Now is not the time to do it, especially when you let that budget back in 2019, 2020, when I ran, they got go of teachers. I favored teachers and techs over expensive facilities. But how does it mandate half our property taxes go to the schools? And then and a lot of it also goes to the county, and the county taxes, a lot of that goes to schools around the county. And then you get state money though too. And and it keeps going up and up. And what I saw, not me, but I turned to bright people who helped me analyze this. We're always in the top 5 in schools in our cohort, I guess size and everything. In the top 5 in spending per pupil and pure spending our buildings are still crappy. Scores can go down, especially in math, compared to other schools like a Milburn or a West Winter next to us who do more with less and have better results. So, what's going on here? I just want an honest conversation. I may have some answers, I think, what we should be doing. And the numbers speak for themselves. And I think it's more like they've been until they brought attention to themselves. They just cut it down and be in the shadows like vampires. People don't follow or are not mad enough to really get involved. But yeah, it's just crazy with the budget. And when we had they wanted to do a $187 million referendum back in like 2018. No school our size had ever had that. And they wanted to build a new middle school. And we asked for the specs on the middle school in terms of permanent staff and everything. The superintendent at the time had no idea. I mean, I was shocked. I thought